Africans all around the world, whether it is in the diaspora, whether it is in the African continent, have been complaining for one thing, that these UN troops and the military base that we get to see all over Africa continent, it's not something good for Africans, because these militaries, they were deployed by the old colonized. We're talking about France, we're talking about Belgium, we're talking about US, and we all know that these countries, they don't have good intentions toward Africans. These countries, their missions is not there to protect Africans, is not there to bring peace in Africa continent, but instead their mission is to make sure that they continue looting Africa as much as possible. These people, their mission is to make sure that they don't go far. They don't want to give that free independence, that freedom to Africans as much they deserve. Instead, their missions is to make sure that they must be watching more closely, on the loop, everything that is happening in Africa continent, so that they'll be able to see who's gonna be their president, what minerals is trending right now, to whom these African countries they are selling. So that is the reason why you'll see all of them, each and every time there is a small problem in your country, as Africa country, they'll come in telling you that no, we're here, we'll support you with this, we'll give you aids, we'll send our militaries, we'll do this and that. And this is something that each and Pan-Africans, wherever we find ourselves around the world, we've been fighting about this, because we don't trust these people. Ourselves, we have made a couple of videos talking about the same matter, saying that you can't trust these organizations which is being placed by the open eye mass systems, because these people, they are not there for the well-being of Africans. Instead, these people, they are there to continue destroying Africa, because they don't want Africa to develop, because they know the day Africa will develop, they're never going to have that easy access to whatsoever they've been doing in Africa. All when we're saying this, people never take us serious. Some people, they never believe that this can be true. When we're saying that these militaries, they are coming in Africa, is to steal. Some people think that no, we're kind of like exaggerating. We're not saying things that make sense. See what happened in DRC. They just caught a UN drone carrying not only guns, but it is carrying the Congolese minerals.
The United Nations MONUSCO peacekeeping mission in D.R.Congo has been using UAVs, popularly referred to as drones, since 2013. The UN needs to use these kinds of tools to better perform its mandate, said Hervé Latsus, the then Undersecretary General for Peacekeeping Operations, addressing journalists in 2013 during the launch of the unarmed aircraft in Goma, the capital of North Kivu province in D.R.Congo. The UN stabilization mission in the country, known as MONUSCO, has, among its primary tasks, the protection of civilians in the area. Recently, President Felix Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of Congo has called for an accelerated withdrawal of the United Nations peacekeeping mission, amidst numerous anti-UN protests over its failure to rein in rebel groups more than 20 years after its deployment to the country.
Where was it going? Where was this mineral going? That is something that you need to ask yourself. And how possible is it that this drone, the UN drone, can carry this kind of minerals? Guess what? Well, God never sleep. The UN drone has been caught in the east of D.R.Congo, carrying minerals of Congolese and guns inside. Can you imagine such a big organization as the UN being involved in this kind of drama, stealing from the Congolese government? Wow. This is the same thing that we've been telling you from day one when this drone was introduced in Congo, that these people, they are here to spy on Congolese. These people, they are here to spy in Mali, Burkina Faso, all these countries that you get to see French military base and what, because they want to have a close look on what is happening in these countries. And now you can understand why the war does not finish in Congo. Before I get to continue to tell you more about this, look at this.
Footage coming out of the Democratic Republic of Congo shows a downed United Nations drone that locals allege was carrying gold, guns, and parachutes. In the footage, you can see locals and soldiers trying to move the drone to an undisclosed location. Locals can be heard speaking in Lingala and Swahili, claiming that this is what the UN is doing in Congo, not protecting, but looting the country. Locals can also be heard talking about the cargo of the UN drone, saying it contains gold, guns, and some escape parachutes.
This is the drone which some village people in DRC with military, they are busy taking it to a safe place so that they can report it to the authorities. Who was running this drone? What was this mineral doing this inside this drone and the guns? Because seeing these guns inside this drone, it is a proof, a very clear proof showing that why the war in Congo never finished after all these years. We are talking about almost 30 years that this conflict has been going in the east of DRC, and no one has stopped to attack the Congolese people. We are talking about many families which are being deployed in the bush. They are leaving their house. Many families, they have lost their parents. They remain orphans because of these kind of things. What kind of guns that the UN drone have to carry without letting the Congolese government to know about it? Obviously, you can tell already that these are the guns that goes and bring more conflicts. Because these rebellions, as I always tell you time to time, that they are not doing these things on their own. These rebellions, they have their masters who feed them, who give them the food, who give them the guns. And unfortunately, until today, the UN with their all organizations, they are not able to tell the Congolese people where these guns come from, which company had manufactures these guns. This is how, it's just to show you on how these people, they are so hypocrite. They'll pretend to eat with you, but yet they are busy killing you slow by slow. That is how this world works for them. And they know very well that the day they let Africa be free on their own, that's when things will get ugly for them, because they will never gonna survive. In my previous video, I asked you a question. Imagine France without Africa. Imagine the US without Africa. Do you think these countries, them alongside with the British, they'll have the courage to go all over around the world and meddling in people's business like the way we are seeing they are doing in Ukraine and Russia, or maybe Israel and Palestine? They are doing all this because they know very well that they have somewhere where they usually benefit their money. Now, guys, let us try to understand this drone. How did it get in DRC? What was the mission of this drone in DRC? Because today we're seeing this drone carrying the D.R.Congo minerals and guns. But we need to go back to understand that was this the mission of this drone, to be carrying guns and the minerals, or it was having another mission aside? Let us find out through this report.
Manned aircraft will be used to look out for threats from numerous local and foreign armed groups in the mineral-rich east of DRC. Congo and UN experts have accused Rwanda and Uganda of sending arms and troops to back the recently defeated M23 rebels, something both countries deny. UN Under-Secretary General for Peacekeeping Operations, Have Latzouz, was at the launch of the drones in Goma, the largest city in eastern Congo.
These drones are tasked with monitoring the delicate region of the Kivu provinces, where there are problems with armed groups.
The drones were due to be launched as early as September in the hope of monitoring the conflict taking place on the border. However, delays meant they arrived only after UN peacekeepers helped defeat M23 early November. The group was the most serious rebellion of President Joseph Kabila's 12-year rule. Still, DRC officials welcomed the drones. Alexandre Luban-Tambo is DRC's Minister of Defense.
There are armed groups that don't have uniforms and are active within the population. I think that these drones will make an important contribution on this matter.
The drones can fly for between 8 and 14 hours and as far as 200 kilometers from their base. They are a big boost to UN peacekeepers who have received widespread criticism for doing too little to end fighting in eastern Congo. The Kinshasa government has struggled to control the hilly and thickly forested region during 2 decades of virtually constant conflict. While a final political deal with M23 is still being ironed out, Congolese and UN forces are now expected to turn their attention to the Rwandan and Ugandan rebel groups, both of which are based in Congo's east.
Now that you have watched this video, you understand exactly what was the purpose or the mission for this drone to be found in D.R.Congo. Was it made for it to be collecting Congolese minerals and guns? Or was it made for it to be having a special mission? Because you can tell already that here, this drone or the UN, they have not respect what was the purpose of this drone to be found itself in Congo. They have broke that law. And you can tell already that this is another proof that shows that these people, they are the one who are supplying these rebellions with guns. So that these rebellions, they will also give them the Congolese minerals. Because remember, these rebellions, wherever they are, whether it is in Chad, whether it is in Mali or Burkina Faso, whether it is in Niger, whenever they attack a territory or a village, their mission is to make sure that they take everything as a government in that village, so that they'll be in control, so that they'll be in charge. And once they're in charge, they'll be able to start taking all the mineral from there. And that is how you see this UN, this all this organization that you know, I mean, like the one that need these minerals. That's where they come in. And when they are coming in the casket of the UN. So the UN will be playing a role as a middleman to supply the rebellions with whatsoever they need, whether it is guns, whether it is bullets, whether it is rockets or bombs. And these rebellions, they will give them also the minerals. Seeing this drone, you will tell already that this drone did not land in this bush or in this village the way the village people found it by hazard. This drone landed here because it had mechanical problems. Because when you listen to the report that I just played for you, you understand that this drone have the capacity to run from 10 to 12 hours. 10 to 12 hours they already calculate the destination of this drone where it will land. From Africa to Europe, you are having 6 to 8 hours. It depends what part of Europe that you want to arrive. From Africa to America, you are having 10 to 12 hours. So they'll already calculate it so that once this mineral leave the D.R.Congo, once this mineral leave Africa continent, it will never gonna sit somewhere in one of our African countries, but it will have to go straight to the destination of the country that they had chosen. That is how they made it. And our African leaders, they are so dumb to the point that they don't understand all this. When this drone was introduced to the Congolese government, for them they applaud the UN, thinking that the UN, they were there to help them, thinking that this drone will help them to identify the locations where these rebellions they are hiding. Because that is the lie they came with it. They came with that lie, telling the Congolese government that, no, we are here to provide you with our drones so that we'll be following up or monitoring all the movement that is happening on the ground. But now that you see for yourself in this video, this drone that's supposed to be empty inside, but they had make it with a specific space that can carry a certain quantity of minerals. We're talking maybe about 1 to 2 tons. It is possible because you can see even already people, those villages who were busy trying to move this drone from the bush to bring it to somewhere more safe. You will see that they were busy pushing it, and there were so many. We are talking about more than 30 people looking in that video. So this is another proof of showing that no, this drone can carry more than 3 to 5 tons of mineral gold or diamond or coltan that comes from Congo. So this drone, it is not there to help people of Congolese anymore, but instead it is there to steal, because these people, if they have to go and transport this mineral through the aeroplane or private jet, they will be caught by anyone at any time, because the drone is facilitating them to at least have that easy access for them to just monitor the whole thing, and the next things the drone will be up. Now, with this being said, what can we do, dear Africans, dear Congolese? What can we do? Are we going to close again our ears and our eyes and listen to what whatsoever to be the lies that they'll give? Because I know that the lie they'll give, they'll say that no, this drone got lost, or maybe the rebellions, they stole it, or maybe someone stole it when it was not under our control. That's the lie, the kind of lie they'll give. But was that all? Because this is not the first time that these people are being caught with Congolese minerals. Do you guys still remember about this truck, the UN truck, which was found with Congolese mineral inside, traveling all the way from the eastern of Congo going to Rwanda? Do you guys still remember about that thing? The Congolese people, they are fed up. They had called for the UN to come and fetch their troops and leave them out. What is the UN still waiting for? Because these people, they don't want you anymore. Do you still remember when this happened?
Demonstrators attacked UN bases in at least 4 cities in the provinces of North and South Kivu. They say UN troops have failed to protect them from armed groups, including M23. Some protesters say peacekeepers opened fire on them. The UN denies this and has accused protesters of snatching weapons from Congolese police. And the UN's Children Agency says kids have been manipulated into joining the unrest.
Congo is our heritage. Congo is for the Congolese. Ever since MONUSCO came here, they have done nothing. Nothing. People have their throats slit every day. And while we are meant to have a UN mission to keep people safe, the population is being massacred. They are being killed like sheep in the presence of that MONUSCO there.
When they go home, we're going to take care of things ourselves. They say they don't have the means to combat the M23 rebels, so we are going to defend ourselves on our own. If they don't leave today, we are going to keep demonstrating until they do.
These are the Congolese from the east of D.R.Congo who are asking the UN troops to leave their soil. After doing that, their president came also and make it more publicly in the United Nations Assembly, asking them to leave the Congo country.
Il est à déplorer.
It is to be deplored that the peacekeeping missions deployed for 25 years in the Democratic Republic of Congo have failed to cope with the rebellions and armed conflicts which are tearing apart the region, nor to protect the civilian population.
Many civilians in DRC feel the same way. Earlier this month, protesters demanded the peacekeepers go. They accused the UN of doing little to protect them. The Congolese army cleared the demonstrations. 43 people were killed. UN peacekeepers have also worn out their welcome elsewhere. They left Sudan's Darfur region in 2021 at the urging of the government. And Mali has become one of the latest countries to demand that they pull out. The UN has admitted to shortcomings, but says without peacekeepers, things will be much worse.
He asked them to leave his country because he did not see the use of them being there. These people, they've been there, they're not doing nothing. Instead, they are busy stealing. So, I begin to realize that the day the UN will leave the east of Congo, I think this whole conflict will finish. Because these people, whatsoever they are doing in Congo, they never want to make it publicly. Whatsoever operation they do, they don't want to communicate it. Do you know why? Because they are the one who help these rebellions with guns, with food, with whatsoever they need, and they get Congolese mineral in exchange. Now that the Congolese people, they don't want them anymore, then that's when you see them, they are going crazy. They even ask that they should give them enough time, but that is not gonna happen because we are not going to let them to do that. Yes, because if we have to give them enough time as Africans, these people will plan another plan B, so that even if they leave, they'll leave some drama behind them. So we don't want that. They are Africans. Congolese, they are our brothers. And all we have to do is to stand together with them and give them the hand and put even more pressure so that these all world organizations should leave that country with an immediate effect. Is it only Congo? No. There is many countries. We did it in Burkina Faso. We chased them out because we speak one word, one language as Africans. We went in Mali. We chased also them out because we're all together. We did it again recently in Niger. We chased them out because we make noise all over around the world, all of Africa continent. We support people of Niger and they succeed to chase France out. The country who had the courage to threaten them, saying that if Niger military government did not step down and leave the power to the elected president, we are going to invade Niger. Do you still remember what Emmanuel Macron said with France? And we managed to shut them, and we managed to challenge their words. We managed to remove them out of Niger. And Niger right now, as we're talking, they are one of the African countries that the economy is busy developing even more faster. So I believe we can do it again with the people of D.R.Congo. We need to give them hand. We need to give them our support as Africans so that this UN can leave that country once for all. And they must leave empty-handed. They must leave all their guns or machines, whatsoever it is. They must leave it back there because they have still enough already from the Congolese people. So they should leave whatsoever they go. They must just go with their own clothes. Whatsoever they have over there, they must leave it. Whether it's the military camp, whether it is whatsoever they invested there so far, they must leave it. The Congolese government must confiscate all these things so that wherever they'll go next, they'll learn the lesson that they are not dealing with the small boys, but they are dealing with a pure, grown, mature African young and new generation that is there to defend their continent. Guys, thank you so much. That will be all for today. I really do appreciate your time for you watching this video. Don't leave without giving us your thumbs up. Like this video in your numbers. We'll really do appreciate that. If this is your first time to watch our videos and you find something beneficial and you would like to find more from us, please just make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that whenever we are live here, you don't miss a notification for you to catch up with us. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.